All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist David Glenn here in the News Channel 9 digital streaming studio. We're going to get you caught up on all the storms going on across the viewing area and let you know what to anticipate as we approach late afternoon into the evening as we got several rounds of storms to roll on by. I really think this is something that'll stick around through at least late evening and then overnight start to die down a bit. It's not lasting all night long, but most of the evening, pretty busy. And yeah, the sleeves are up, just in case you were wondering. Allow a few more folks to jump on board here and we'll get started and talk about what's happening out there with all these storms going on both to the south and west. A few of these have warnings, not all of them. Okay, so a few of those across North Georgia, we'll talk about these. And we got this other band back here, which has had a couple of embedded storms along it as well. But let me back up a bit and show you how there's a severe thunderstorm watch out for a large part of our viewing area, different expiration times. So be aware of that. And I'll give you an example of this. This was extended not long ago across all of Southeast Tennessee. It doesn't include Cherokee or Clay County yet, but it doesn't mean you won't have any storms. It's just that it'll be a little bit longer into the evening hours. This part of that watch is out till 9 o'clock Eastern time. And then the watch box west of, say, Grundy and Franklin County, that one is out, I believe, till 6 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Central. And then across North Alabama, this is out till 9 o'clock Eastern. So it's all part of that other watch box that's out for Southeast Tennessee. So in other words, all areas locally have the risk of scattered storms. And even though across North Georgia, hear me out, okay, I know you're not under a watch yet. That may change as that line farther west gets there, but it doesn't mean you won't have severe storms. Okay, we're already seeing that. Even without a watch, there's already warnings going on across portions of Murray County and parts of Woodfield County. So again, all areas locally have equal chances of having some strong to severe storms through late afternoon and into the evening hours. So here's a look at what's happening out there now in the live radar view. A couple of things. There are several different thunderstorm advisories. These are a step below severe thunderstorm warning. And you got this one warning here that I mentioned across portions of Murray, Woodfield, and Fannin County. And then one way back here just north and west of Franklin County. So let's take a look at this cell first of all and show you the warning on this. This is still active. Not much longer, though. It's out till 3:30, roughly the next 13 minutes or so. But you could have wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail. So that fits the parameters for a severe storm. Gust above 58 miles an hour and some 1-inch diameter hail, which in this case is the size of a quarter. Okay. And again, that storm is moving off to the northeast very rapidly at around 25 miles an hour. So heads up in portions of southern Polk County, you're already getting that leading edge of that storm right there starting to move in. And you can see it there. But heavy downpours of rain, lots of lightning with that. And if there's some hail, it could be right there just to the east of Cisco and right near the Fannin County line. So that'll be crossing into areas south of 64 into Polk County very shortly. In fact, we'll do a quick little tracker for you. Those who watch this know we jokingly call it the bacon tracker. And that's moving northeast about 30. That was their estimate, and about 25. So this gives you just kind of a brief outline of what's going where. See, Grassy Creek around 326, Turtletown 349, and then as far north as probably Etowah by 415. So in the next hour, that's where this storm will be moving. So it's already raining in those areas south of 64 into Polk County, but the core of the storm as it lifts north and east will be impacting areas across most of Polk, a little bit of Bradley, the far southeastern corner, and then the parts of McMinn and southern Monroe over the next hour or so. So that's where that'll be moving. All right, there are several other storms out there. It's loud. There's a lot of heavy rain, but a lot of these are a step below at a warning and just have an advisory attached to them. And that's the case with the storms that you see near Cleveland, north of Cleveland towards Calhoun. Again, heavy rain, a lot of lightning with that crossing into southern McMinn County. But again, it's mainly with this, you have wind gusts upwards of 40. The movement is off to the north and east. Same thing with the cell that was near Ooltewah to Sail Creek. A couple of individual cells that are causing, a lot of heavy rain and lightning, but again, below severe levels. So we'll come back to this one in a second where the main warning is. lot of heavy rain across that Tri-County region of Grundy, Franklin, and Marion. Again, no warning or advisory with that, but it's extremely loud. And again, as I've said so often, when thunder roars, you go indoors. A lot of lightning in the system. Tracy City, heavy rain, right along Highway 41, and then where it parallels back and crosses over 24. So back to Suwannee, Mont Eagle, Tracy City to Whitwell, very heavy rain. And that's going to be moving into a larger part of Grundy and eventually toward Dunlap and Sequatchie County. You got one cell just south of you that you're hearing the thunder from, and then more of that is going to cross on through Grundy and through Sequatchie shortly. Let's go to the south a bit. Cell here bubbling up pretty quickly near Somerville, right along the Chattooga and Walker County line. Again, no advisory with that, but again, it does have very heavy rain. A lot of lightning around the Tryon area. That's going to be moving northward toward Walnut Grove and paralleling 27 and getting closer to Lafayette over the next hour. So just a lot going on. Thunderstorms just hopscotch in our viewing area at the moment. This particular cell that was a little bit stronger, southeast of Fairmont, again, not as strong as it once was. We've got some showers in and around the Murphy area, but again, not too severe. A lot of rain, but Hayesville, Murphy, over to just east of Turtletown, still quite a bit of rain going on there. Let me minimize myself. There we go. You can see the radar a little bit better for you. If you're watching on a smaller mobile device, this will help you out a little bit better. And here's an overview of the entire viewing area. So as you can see, we have one warning locally at the moment, right there. That's going to be crossing the Polk County, and several other non-severe advisories. Now, farther back to the west, we got this line to watch. There's actually a couple lines out there. So it's going to be a pretty long evening. We've got this line coming in, several advisories along it, and then this back edge line here. So it's going to be the individual cells we see now, and this line coming by. That would be roughly 5 to 7 p.m. And then this line here will be more toward early to mid-evening. You know, once you get around 10 or 11, a lot of this will be moving away to the east. Okay, so several rounds to watch. But again, you can see not all the storms are severe. There are several warnings, one here near Huntsville, a couple of other warnings along this developing line into west central Alabama. We'll see if that moves more east than northeast. It might steal some energy from this line coming back in from the west. And again, some of the individual storms have taken some of the energy, but not all of it. It's still pretty warm and humid out there. In fact, it's very steamy. In between rounds of rain, you walk outside and it's very warm, very humid. So it's not zapping away all the energy yet. Let's take a look at the high-res model, the outlook for this evening. I don't have any pause points on this yet, but let me pause it right there. This gives you an estimate. This is that line that's just to our west. So between 5 and 7 o'clock, that's when that line starts coming in. That's the one that's still west of the plateau. Not the storms over us now, but the one coming in later. And then we go towards, say, 9, 10 o'clock. There's that second line that's more kind of impacting areas from the city and south. And we get toward midnight, the severe threat kind of dies down, and it's mainly just rain the rest of the overnight hours. So again, it's not an all-night thing, but it will all night for rain. But as far as the severe factor, it's primarily from what we have now till mid to late evening. And I'll show you forecast track for tomorrow. This shows our future track. This shows around 5:15. This is a different model I just showed. And you can see between 7 and 9, there's the two lines. There's what's left of that first line that's still west of us now. Secondary line back here. So this one may impact that one a bit. But this takes us around midnight. And again, around midnight or so, you've got severity dying down. Still rain, a little lightning overnight, but not quite as bad. Go toward tomorrow morning. I'm afraid it's going to be a pretty soggy Saturday. You know, a lot of folks have derby parties going on Saturday, and weather's going to be kind of soggy, but then again, it's going to be soggy at Churchill Downs too. So here we go. Band of showers rolling by through midday, and then we got this afternoon round ahead of the main cold front. So that may bring some thunderstorms there. The severe threat tomorrow is low. I'm still keeping it an alert day because the ground will be saturated, perhaps a little bit of flooding with some of this rain that moves through and causing some flooding in some low-lying areas. That'll be moving by during the early to late stage of the afternoon. And once we're by tomorrow evening, 8:30, most of the rain's moving out and things are drier for Sunday. There's Sunday morning. Might still be a brief shower left off to the north and west, but otherwise through the day Sunday, it's partly sunny. It's going to be a cool day with temperatures 60s, barely near 70. So kind of a cool day on Sunday, but at least it'll be a lot drier than what we have right now. And there again is the extent of the severe thunderstorm watch over our viewing area. It'll pop up here momentarily. Again, all areas locally run the chance of severe storms. I know North Georgia technically not under a watch yet. That'll change with time. Across Cherokee and Clay County, you'll probably go under a watch at some point later on this evening. But you can see again, all of this area is out till 9 o'clock Eastern time, then back here till 6 o'clock Eastern time. So Northeast Alabama through all of Southeast Tennessee is out till 9 o'clock Eastern time. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to take off the individual advisories. I'll go back to them and we're just going to keep the warnings up. So, you know, kind of a top priority, which storms are a little bit stronger than others. And you can see that again. We got this one strong cell that's been across northern parts of Fannin, actually western Fannin, northern Murray, very northeast part of Whitfield County. Other individual cells here. A lot of these are not severe, but still could provide wind gusts up to 40. That's below the severe levels, but still some heavy rain and lightning. And someone had asked me about, let's see, April asking about the school bus time, about 3:45 Soddy Daisy. I mean, there's going to be scattered showers around. You can see it right now near Soddy Daisy at the moment. But what I want to urge you and warn you about here, folks, is that with these storms, mainly the big threat at the moment is lightning. And I can't stress this enough. Lightning, extremely dangerous. We always tend to focus on, the wind risk or the hail risk or the tornado risk. Don't forget about lightning. Lightning is the deadliest part of a storm. When thunder roars, you head indoors, okay? Remember the 30-30 rule. And this is going to be very hard today because there's so many thunderstorms around. But wait 30 minutes since the last visible lightning strike or audible clap of thunder before resuming an outdoor activity, or that you're able to count between 30 seconds between a visible flash of lightning and the audible clap of thunder. If it's greater than 30 seconds, you can count. The storm is a little bit farther away. But with days like today and lightning all hopscotching around, you want to be very careful with that. I know the kids want to get outside because it's the start of the weekend, but lightning's dangerous. Don't mess around with that. But regarding that question about Soddy Daisy, you can see some storms around Soddy Daisy to Lakeside, mainly east of Soddy and up towards Sail Creek. So, yeah, kids might be a little wet there at the bus stop. And again, that severe cell, this particular warning is about to expire in 2 minutes. The core of this storm is now centered into Polk County. So you're almost into clear there across northern Murray and western Fannin. And that gives you a closer look at that cell right there. That's over Polk County. We'll take a look at the velocity scan inside there. You can see it's a fairly robust little storm there. It's got broad rotation with it. And that's the reason why it was severe. Could be a hail producer also. So we'll keep an eye on that, but definitely it's a pretty strong storm rolling through the higher terrain there south of 64 near the Ocoee River and lifting north and east. Let's also put on there our hail tracker. Pause that there just a second. Take the radar off just for a moment. And we'll put up the current hail. Take just a second for it to come up. Again, I anticipate this warning here will disappear very shortly. You can see a little hail core right there. Right where we were seeing the kind of the broad rotation with the storm, you can see right in there, and that is an estimated size about a ½ inch. So about the size of a nickel, okay? So that's estimating just below severe parameters, but still it is a hail producer. A lot of lightning with that as well. That's going right through that high terrain there just at the south of the Ocoee River. All right, that warning across North Georgia did expire. Put our radar back up there. So at the moment, There are no other warnings locally. Well, there is one now for Western Fannin, and it's based on that line near Fayetteville, Tennessee. Franklin, not Fannin. I just finished talking about Fannin County. Now we're talking about Franklin County. And again, for Franklin, Grundy, Marion, this is a pretty loud storm, but this storm right here is the one that's causing that warning. That's near Fayetteville, near 231 and 64. That's headed off to the east. So this will be areas mainly west of Suwannee. That severe thunderstorm warning out till 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Again, 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail, very common with these warnings. And the movement of that storm is to the east at 25. And since that is the leading edge of that line we're tracking, let's just kind of give you a little bit of a brief overview there. East at 25. Yeah, it'll still be into that part of Franklin, not quite Marion yet. So I would say this particular line right here will get into Marion and Grundy after 3:30 Central. So between 3:30 and 4 Central, 4:30 and 5 Eastern, that line will come in. And that has with it more risk of wind gusts and a lot of lightning with that. And the tail end of that line does extend down into North Alabama. So we'll keep an eye on that for Jackson County, which eventually I would say during the 3 o'clock Central hour, 4 o'clock Eastern, that part of that line will be getting into that part of Jackson County. But if we zoom out again, there's three main sectors that we're watching. And I'll put these here. The first part is the individual cells, and that's what's happening over a large part of our viewing area now. They're not in a line, they're just individual. So a few of those have been severe. Most of those are staying just below severe levels. Okay, that's area number one. The second area is this line right here. Okay. And that is heading off to the east. And this will be impacting a large part of our viewing area between 5 and 7 Eastern. Okay. So between 5 and 7, that's when this line will move on through, providing us again a risk of wind gusts, strong damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, lots of lightning. Then we've got this third line. This is sort of the final push with this one back here. And I'll circle it. That one already has several warnings along it to the south. It is conditional because we'll see if this has any impact on the severity of this. But either way, this will be rolling by more towards, say, 7 to 10 o'clock Eastern. And that'll represent the final push of the severe storms. So the clusters over us now is step 1. Step 2 is this. Step 3 is this one. Okay. So several different rounds throughout the night. I know some people have asked about the tornado threat. Tornado threat is very low with this system. Okay. There's not much shear. And shear is a rapid change in wind direction and speed with height. And in this case, there's not a whole lot of shear with this. I mean, looking at what we call the shear tracks in the storms, there's a little bit, but not a whole lot sustained. So if there are any tornadoes with this, it'll be pretty low and short-lived. And we're watching that, see if that will happen. The higher risk factor, though, is for that a damaging wind gust and hail, like we're seeing with some of the storms already. So again, that tornado threat is much lower on the scale today. Not exactly 0, but it is low. Okay. Now let me pop back up there some of the advisories. Okay. Even though there are no warnings, these individual light brown polygons are advisories on where storms are strong but below severe levels, worthy enough to let you know that, hey, you may want to get inside. Okay. And that's the case we have here over near Lafayette, large part of eastern Hamilton, and now including portions of southern Meigs on into Ray. And with that cell there that was making a lot of noise along the Grundy and Marion Franklin line now lifting off to the north. So let's take a look individually at these cells. We'll start to the south near Lafayette. Again, this one, that storm is moving off to the northeast at around 40 miles an hour. Again, this is just a special weather statement till the top of the hour. Could have wind gusts of 40 to 50. Little pea-sized hail and a lot of lightning. Does make a lot of noise down there. Again, that is moving off to the north at 25 miles an hour. All right. Take a look at this cell here. moving over far northeastern Hamilton County on into Meigs and Ray. And that's a special weather statement out to 4:15 Eastern time. Again, you could have gusts up to 45 and some penny-size hail. That likewise moving northeast at 25. And again, this cell that did have the warning, severe thunderstorm warning with it across northwest Georgia, it's now an advisory, but it's a pretty strong storm crossing 64. Yes, computer, we know what time it is. We don't want you to tell us that. There we go. This is out to the top of the hour across Polk and neighboring areas of Bradley and McMinn out to the top of the hour. Again, gusts as high as 50 and some penny-sized hail. And as we showed you on the radar, it was indicating a little bit of hail in that storm as it moved to the north at 25. And let's see. We got that cell moving over Grundy County near Tracy City to about Gootley Lager, Beersheba Springs. A lot of rain, a lot of lightning with that one. That one likewise has this advisory out till 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. And again, it's the same thing. Wind gusts 40 to 50 and a little bit of pea-sized hail with it. A lot of lightning too. So notice again how these storms are lining up. If you look at these storms over us, they're kind of moving more toward the north, okay? And then you get this line right here, and these are moving more this way. So we'll start seeing that kind of change in direction with the movement of the storms coming in. So at the moment, they're coming in from the south, but eventually they'll start coming in from the west as those two other lines come by for early to mid-evening. All right, Nicole says there's hail in Dayton. Yep. Josh says heavy wind and thunder in Benton. Terry says thunder in Somerville. Sherry says thunder and windy in Benton. And you can see right there, just so much rain and lightning out there. In fact, again, even that cell there, no advisory on it, but from Turtletown to Tellico Plains, heavy rain, lightning with that. That's also moving northeast around 25. So good just to stay inside. Let these storms pass on by. I know it's the start of the weekend. So Friday, people are like, yay, week's over. I want to get outside, but not today. It's a little bit different scenario there. And just to show you again, these are the advisories. I'm going to take those off for a second. And we'll just isolate where the individual severe thunderstorm warnings are. The only one locally is for this one over western Franklin County, and that is with that line coming in from the west. And that warning is out till 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. All right, let's go back to this cell. This was a hail producer here. Well, there you go. They just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning with it. And it's because it's a hail producer, okay? This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. No surprise with this. This is where it was warned over parts of Murray and parts of Fannin, and now this has been extended now. A new severe thunderstorm warning out for McMinn, Monroe, and Polk out till 4:30 Eastern. Again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. We'll take a look at the hail factor here in a second. But a lot of our viewers have noted that especially in Benton area, they have had some hail. So we do know, we got some eyewitness accounts that it is a hail producer. But that storm is moving to the northeast at 25. 60-mile-an-hour gusts, quarter-size hail possible with that as it moves to the northeast at 25. So areas that could be impacted by this, just to name a few, Inglewood, Mount Vernon, Reliance, Benton, Archville, Athens, Etowah, Ocoee State Park, and Nyota. And a lot of that area paralleling I-75. So again, that's a new severe thunderstorm warning out specifically for Central Polk, Southeastern McMinn, and Southwestern Monroe out till 4:30 Eastern time. All right, let's take a look at the hail within that storm. Pause the radar just for a second. We'll take the rain off there for a second so you can see this a little better. And you can see right here, it's noting a little bit of hail there. Just now north of 64. That's where the core of that hail could be, right in there. I had reports in Benton of some hail. And we'll take a look at the winds inside the storm with the velocity scan. It's a pretty decent sized storm. Kind of broad rotation with that as it moves on by. That's the reason why it's a good hail producer. And also very strong wind gusts. Could be strongest here right along at just north of 64. And almost right along 411. That heavy rain core is kind of merging with this other one over southern Monroe. So you got the strongest part here, but the outflow helping spark more of this from Turtletown to Tellico Plains with heavy rain. Tellico Plains is under that part of Monroe County under that severe thunderstorm warning. And same thing with the far eastern part of McMinn, which is just east of Athens. It's all part of this storm right here. And it's pretty nasty right along the border with Bradley County, just south of Ocoee and just northwest of Old Fort. So that might have a little bit of hail there, but very heavy rain and a lot of lightning there. You see Lafayette now getting very heavy rain and lightning. Could have some gusts up to 40. There is an advisory with that, but not a warning per se. I've just got the warnings isolated so you can see the top priority at the moment. Now let's put the advisories back on so you can see again. This is just kind of highlighting where the stronger cells are of the ones not under a warning. So you can see Dayton, DeSalle Creek, heavy rain with that. And again, that goes all the way through the whole portion of Ray County. This is a new statement with that storm over Dayton. That's out till 4:15 Eastern time. And again, wind gusts could be as high as 45 miles an hour, along with penny-sized hail. Wade just said they had pea-sized hail there in Dayton. William also saying some hail in Dayton, so thank you both for those reports. Gary says pea-sized hail in Resaca. Blake asked a good question. Where can we upload our hail pictures to? If you go to newschannel9.com, click on the Chime In tab. It'll be two words, Chime In, and that'll prompt you to where you can go to upload those photos. We'd love to see those. But if you post them on on our replies or on the Facebook page, I may not see them. If you do on the Chime In page, that's where we can see that, and we can also get them to air. All right, Blake, good question there. Josh Johnson says rain and hail in Benton right now. That's right in the core of that storm in Benton. Right there. And of course, Benton's still under the severe thunderstorm warning out to 4:30 Eastern time. And that warning does extend, just to show you, through eastern McMinn, southwestern Monroe. And that's going to be out till 4:30 Eastern time. That storm moves more to the north and east. Again, notice how we're going to start seeing a little bit of a change over the next hour on the direction of movement of the storms. Again, over a large part of our viewing area at the moment, the storms are individually moving more north and northeast like this. And then within this line, you're going to start seeing a difference where it's going to start coming in more from the west, southwest, and moving north, northeast. And when they form in a line like that, you can get individual storms along the line that can produce damaging wind gusts, heavy rain, and again, a lot of lightning. But that's going to show you a little bit of a change. We're approaching 3:45. So within the next hour along the plateau around 4:45 Eastern, 3:45 Central, you'll start seeing that change in direction. Where no longer will the storms be coming in from the north, from the south, they'll be coming in from the west. Again, there's 3 separate areas that we're watching as we go through this afternoon. Currently, this is one area. The individual cells moving through our viewing area now from south to north. And then number 2 is this line here. Extends from just south of Huntsville to just east of the Nashville metro area. And this will start impacting our viewing area between 5 and 7 Eastern. Okay. And with that, still some strong wind gusts, heavy rain, lightning. And then we got this third line back here. This is the final push back here. It's west of Nashville to northeastern Mississippi. We'll see how much this impacts this if it holds together. But nevertheless, this will be mainly towards 7 and 10 o'clock. So mid to late evening push moving by. And I'd say by midnight, a lot of this is over. So this is as far as a severe threat. Moving on through. All right. Let's take a look at Dayton. Getting a lot of hail reports in Dayton. So what I'm going to do is take off the advisory so you can see that just a little bit better. And if you are getting hail in Dayton, you can see the high reflectivity right there. Just north of Dayton, where you could be having quite a bit of hail. Let's take a look at the current hail tracker. Yeah, you can see it right there. Right there. See that? Well, come on, cursor. Right there. Quite a bit. Now, this is just a radar estimate, but it shows about half-inch size, so easily pea to nickel size coming down. But quite a good hail core right there. That area in and around Dayton, back up on the mountain there. And you can see how it's moved over the past hour, moved right through Dayton, and then off to the north right there. All right. And again, these are below severe thunderstorm warning criteria, but still could produce wind gust, a lot of lightning, and again, as you're seeing, a lot of hail. Again, this shows you the advisories. These are the step below a warning, and then this just shows you the warnings locally. So the only warnings locally are for this one. That is from Benton, which includes Athens and Etobicoke Plains. And this other warning over the far western edge of Franklin County, if that line coming in near Lynchburg, back to around Bellevue, Tennessee. And we're going to try the leading edge of this one, moving northeast at 25. There you go. So the storm that's over Polk County now, okay, this will be approaching areas like Claxton, 356. These are all Eastern time. Etowah, 405. Athens, you're going to have some rain with that cell, but I'm tracking this cell. So Athens, please keep in mind, you're going to get rain and lightning before 421. All right. But I'm tracking this coming in. And then Madisonville around 4:39 Eastern time. So again, we're tracking the cell that's over the far northern part of Polk County that we know is a hail producer. Wind gusts could reach 60. A lot of lightning. That's moving north. This is the estimated timeline along that line. But again, here's Athens. There are some cells right along 75 just south and west of you. So you're going to get some rain before this line comes in. Just want you to know that. Ashley asking, will the storms around or after 8 be a tornado threat or just heavy rain and lightning? Ashley, again, the main threat this evening, number 1, damaging wind gust. All right, number 2, a hail risk, and then rain and lightning. Those are the main threats tonight. Tornado threat with all of this is extremely low. Not zero, but it is very low. But our main concerns with all these rounds coming in, damaging wind gust, hail, lightning, heavy rain. Right. But then after midnight or so into the overnight, that threat kind of diminishes, mainly just to rain through the overnight hours. Again, you can see just a lot of individual cells that are below severe levels, hopscotching across southeast Tennessee. There's that hail-producing storm near Dayton. Again, I took the advisories off just so you can see the storms a little bit better. But again, all of these could be producing wind gusts up to 40, hail with that, and very heavy rain. So Dayton, you've had one cell move by that was more that hail producer. And then another one near Graysville, right along the county line. Back on the mountain, that's moving in from the north, south, and west, moving northeast. So it's another round of lightning and heavy rain moving in. Going back across North Georgia, not a whole lot going on. It's a little noisy, but overall not too bad. Got some heavy rain, lightning over around Rock Spring, but that floated through Lafayette with some rain, lightning. Got some showers in around the battlefield right now. And this cell here crossing a Tusa, they'll be approaching Ringgold with it, some rain, lightning, but not severe with that. Tony asking about the Ringgold baseball playoffs. Yeah, very important. Game starting at 6. Tony, that's going to be rough because here's the thing. While that's still 2 hours away, but this will be approaching us about that time. If it's not there yet by 6, it'll be getting closer. So if the game gets started in Ringgold, there might be delays. Please be aware of the lightning risk. Okay. So be aware that I anticipate there could be delays of that game. All right. New warning just issued. And this is really no surprise, but this is from that hail producing storm near Dayton. So they kind of just upgraded that from an advisory to a warning. That's why I've kind of just isolated the warnings, taking the advisories off. But this is a new severe thunderstorm warning out. I'll pop that up for you. That's for Bledsoe and Ray, out till 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. Again, specifically, it's for Ray County and northeastern Bledsoe. Wind gusts up to 60 and then quarter-size hail. Excuse me, we've already seen quite a bit of that already. Excuse me. And that's moving northeast at 30. Let me grab a little bit of water here. We'll be right back. Since I've been sick, my throat dries out quickly. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had a coughing fit there a little bit. Anyway, that warning out till 4:30 Eastern time. My goodness. It's going to be a long evening. All right. And Wanda's saying her weather radio just went off about that warning. That's what they're good for. I'm glad to hear that. So again, locally, there are 3 warnings out there. This one across McMinn, Monroe, this one for Ray and Bledsoe, and then this one for western parts of Franklin County. Again, these are a little noisy, these other cells, but below severe levels. But as I mentioned, the lightning threat alone, you should get inside and be aware of that. So let's go back to this cell here, which is now over the far northern part of Polk County. They've kind of shortened the polygon there just a little bit. And that's out till 4:30 Eastern. Again, wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail. Moving northeast at 25. Goodness gracious. It's going to be a long evening. I was really sick about 2 weeks ago, and I still had this nagging cough that just won't go away. And just part of it. That's why I was out for about 5 days, about a week and a half ago. I was really sick. And you can see even outside that warning area, quite a bit of heavy rain from Tellico Plains, eastern Monroe County. But there's the core of where that strongest part of that cell is. So Etowah to just east of Athens, the next half hour, that warning still in effect. And again, you look at this warning here for Ray and Bledsoe, there's really two cells moving through. We got the one south and west of Spring City that we know was a hail producer. And this one coming in behind it, hail producer as well. It's the velocity scan with that. You see some very strong, deep red, strong wind gusts with that. Same thing right in there, northwest of Dayton. You can kind of see right in there just a little bit. That could be where the hail is being produced also. And let's take a look at the hail production. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, that's on the Bledsoe-Ray County line. Look at that. This is showing possibility. Oh, that's the warning. We know the warning. Let me take the warning off here. That's about the size of a quarter. So that's about 1 inch diameter hail. So that's right along the Bledsoe and Ray County line. And that's got a little bit bigger reflectivity. You can see where it's moved from near Dayton north. And that second cell has a little bit smaller hail with it. But right in there, folks, that's where that hail is pretty strong. And along with that, a lot of lightning there. There's the reflectivity scan of both those cells moving through. But again, that severe thunderstorm warning out for Ray and Bledsoe just popped up there momentarily out to 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. And here we go. Quite a bit of rain, lightning, Altamont, going into Van Buren County and areas just northwest of Dunlap. No doubt you're hearing the lightning on the mountain there and lightning, loud claps of thunder to your south. And again, activity picking up in around Ringgold. It was not too bad, but some of the times the outflow from those storms will trigger some development. And that's what we're seeing now from, say, the battlefield to Boynton to Ringgold. That is moving north and east and sparking more development rather quickly south of Ottawa over to East Brainerd. So get a little noisy in that area. Of course, this time of day, 75 to 24 split. Traffic's bad, so that's not going to be good. You can see how quickly a lot of that just develops there. Again, no advisory with that yet, but that's something that's developing pretty quickly. And once again, notice, as I talked about, and we're going to see a little bit of a change in direction with where the storms come in from over the next couple of hours. We got these over us now that are lifting more in a south to north fashion. And then these here coming in with a line. Moving generally that direction. Okay, so again, this line back here, I'd say between 5 and 7 Eastern. 5 and 7 Eastern will be approaching us, moving in from west to east, bringing with that, again, the chance of damaging wind gust, hail with some of that heavy rain and lightning. I'm still getting the tornado question. Folks, that threat's very low. It's not zero. It's at what we call 2%, which is sort of the low-end general grade because the ingredients aren't there for a widespread risk of tornadoes. But could an individual cell pop off one? Yeah, it's possible. But it's on the low end of the scale. That's why they put it at a 2% chance. Okay, that's on the low end of the scale. We're watching all these storms. But for now, the wind shear, that key ingredient needed to sustain tornadoes, change in direction with height, change in wind speed with height, that's pretty low on the scale. However, there's going to be some individual storms that may rotate a bit, which is common with severe storms, and can't rule out at least an isolated chance. So if there are any tornadoes, the chance is very low. Your odds are very low. So this one explained that. I know a lot of people asking that question over and over, and I understand that. This is a lot different from the storms that we saw back in March, back in early early March, late February. These are a little bit different. These are more in a squall line fashion once to get by these first individual cells over us now. And that's why the strong wind gusts and hail are the main issues with these storms coming in. And again, just to show you all areas locally under the severe thunderstorm watch, North Georgia, you're not under the watch yet, okay? Don't think you're not going to get any storms. We've already had severe thunderstorm warnings and severe storms even without the watch. So all areas locally are going to have somewhat of a risk of severe storms between now and mid to late evening, okay? I have a feeling this will probably be extended with time, okay? We don't control that. These are issued under the advisement of the Storm Prediction Center, which in the individual forecast offices, for example, in North Georgia's case, Peachtree City, will assign the counties. Okay, so at this moment, Peachtree City didn't feel the need to put out the counties yet. That, of course, may change as especially that line to the west gets a little bit closer. So I would anticipate some changes there. But through Southeast Tennessee, it's out to at least 9 o'clock Eastern. Same thing for Northeast Alabama. For the Plateau counties, out till 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. And that might get extended also. So as far as warnings at the moment, we have 3 locally. This one across McMinn, Monroe, Northern Polk. This one for Bledsoe and Ray. And then this one for the far western edge of Franklin County. Let's take a look at that one, the newest one that was issued a while back. And we'll take off the advisory so you can just kind of see the polygon for the severe thunderstorm warning. As we saw in the radar view, there was a hail core there right along the Ray and Bledsoe County line, right in this cluster of lightning. So that's southwest of Spring City. It had 1-inch diameter hail estimated by the radar. And it could have gusts up to 60 with that cell and this cell also near Dayton. So this particular warning out till 4:30 Eastern time as it moves to the northeast at 30. And the main threats are, again, 60-mile-an-hour gust and quarter-size hail. Moving to this cell, really elongated, weird-looking one. But if you look at it, it's heavy rain, lightning with most of it. The strongest part of the storm is here near Etowah. So right along 411 and then right along the county line, southern border of Monroe and McMinn. And that's moving off to the north and northeast at around 25. Likewise, again, this warning out until 4:30 Eastern time. And it could have gusts up to 60 and, again, quarter-size hail. Yeah, let's take a look at the hail within that one also. Take out the polygon just for a second. Yeah, you can see a couple of things here. There was some hail in around the Benton area. Now we got a little hail core here popping up. Let's take a look at that. That is far northern Polk. And that's about 1-inch diameter hail, over 1 inch. So that could well over a quarter size. And that'll be heading into southern Monroe. So the reason why that warning's still in effect. Good, strong updraft for that storm. Producing that hail. Multiple rounds of trips up and down through the cloud that hailstone is taking. So we know the updraft is pretty strong with that storm. Smaller hail, even outside the warning area. Little pea-sized hail possible. North and east Tellico Plains, but there's that strong hail core there, or far northern Polk County, and we're just looking at hail at the moment. Still getting a pretty good hail signal here. Not quite as bad as it once was, but I'll show you the loop. You can see where it's in that deep blue, indicated by 1 inch diameter. Now estimating a little bit smaller, just under a size of a quarter, and that's still on the Ray and Bledsoe County line. And we're just looking at hail at the moment. We see any others? Others not large. There might be some pea-sized hail falling, but overall not large. Okay. Let's go back to the radar view. Put our warnings back up there. There we go. Pretty loud storm here that really blossomed up with the outflow. Look how quickly this developed. Boom. And that's reacting to the very warm, humid air present over a large part of our viewing area. So there's a lot of fuel out there. But Ringgold, East Brainerd, Ooltewah, heavy rain and lightning. Time to bring it inside. All right. As I say so often, the thunder roars, head indoors. Remember that lightning safety rule, folks. Could have some gust upwards of around 40, but there's no advisory on this storm at the moment, so it's just a good old thunderstorm. But don't take it lightly. Stay inside. And we have the outflow from that previous storm, sparking a little bit more downpours from Kensington, Cooper Heights, Chickamauga, up towards Flintstone, Mountain View area. So more rain, nothing severe with that. And here comes that line that we're watching that'll kind of change the direction of movement with the storms. And the storm in and around Huntsville has now triggered a warning for western parts of Jackson County, Alabama. This issued just a few moments ago. This includes Jackson County and the far southwestern quarter of Franklin County. So Franklin has 2 warnings with it. This, of course, will have some wind gusts upwards of 60, quarter-size hail. Again, very common. But the movement is northeast at around 35 miles an hour. So again, it's more in a line. It's more within this line that's right here, moving more northeast. So Franklin's got a couple of different warnings here. Okay, we're watching this cluster of storms south of Huntsville, moving northeast. And then we got this cluster of storms right along the Franklin County line. That's moving east as well. So this one near Huntsville causing the warning in southwestern Franklin County. And then we'll zoom in here from Tullahoma to Winchester to Fayetteville. That old cluster line of storms is moving off to the north and east. So they'll be drawing closer to Swanee probably by the bottom of the half hour before 3:30 Central. Okay, I'm getting the tornado question again, folks. Let's go over it one more time so everybody in the back can hear me, okay? Tornado threat is very low. It's very low, standard 2%. It doesn't mean it's entirely zero, but it's extremely low. Our main concerns here are damaging wind gust, hail, lightning, heavy rain. Those are the 4 main factors. Can't rule out a quick spin-up tornado, but at the moment, not seeing that. But we're mindful and watchful for that. So it's a low-end risk, but the higher-end threat is for that of damaging wind gusts and hail. Okay. I don't mind y'all asking. I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. Okay. All right. And no surprise here. The way that storm was meandering, they just now issued that warning here for Monroe County. Severe thunderstorm warning now for central Monroe County until 4:45 Eastern time. That could have wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail. Again, you got 2 cells there. We're tracking this one near Etowah, but this is sort of blossoming up a bit more. It's more of the higher terrain here, east of Tellico Plain. So 2 separate warnings as that races off to the north and east. And still quite a bit of rain, lightning going on in Ringgold, Fort Oglethorpe, over to Ottawa. There might be, as you can see right here, very dark red, high reflectivity. Might be a little bit of hail with some of that. We'll take a look at it. Yep. You can see where there's right here. Little pocket, a little bit of hail there, not far from Ringgold. I'll be pea size. Okay. So a little bit, but not the large category. Again, rain and lightning near Chickamauga over to Hayesville. But this area here is really blossoming up. Basically, you go from Hickson to Harrison to East Brainerd to Ottawa. You're hearing thunder outside our studios right now. This is what we're getting that from. Ringgold, Boynton area, Fort Oglethorpe, all up and down Highway 2, up 75, both north and south toward the split, and up towards Ottawa, very heavy rain. That goes all the way to Cleveland. Again, that's not a severe warned storm, but it's loud. And we do know that showing on radar a little bit of pea-sized hail with that. It's possible. Check in on this cell here. Still having that warning near Spring City. Looks like they've moved the polygon north, so Dayton is now out of that that warned area. So you're kind of in the clear, not in the clear of lightning yet. But up and down 27, Spring City. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain with that as it lifts north and east. Again, this warning out until the bottom of the half hour, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. And then the two separate warned storms here. North and East Tellico Plains and the cell from Etowah to just near the county line with Monroe County. We'll take a look at the hail with that. And you can see a couple of pockets of hail. Right there, North and East Tellico Plains. Little hail pocket right there. And also on the far southern edge of Monroe County, that'll be approaching Tellico Plains, a little bit of pea to marble size hail coming your way there. And again, a little pea size hail up to East Brainerd. A little bit of pea size hail possible. And that's below severe parameters, but nevertheless, you know, tells you how strong the storms are. And of course, that hail core that was moving through Bledsoe Ray, a little bit smaller now than once was. But even east of Dayton, little pocket there, some pea-size hail right there. All right. And now there's an advisory on this storm. No surprise here. Just to give you more specifics on it, again, it's below severe levels between now and 5 o'clock. Gusts up to 45. And half-inch size hail, about the size of a nickel. Pea-size hail to a nickel. That's going to be northeast at 30. So again, that's for specifically northwestern Bradley, southwestern Meigs, west central McMinn, and eastern Hamilton County. Time to bring it inside. Time just to be inside for a while. Please be aware of that lightning threat. And just south of there, lightning really popping off there. Chickamauga northward to Fort Oglethorpe. And now we've got, of the three areas we're watching, this is the first round over us now, these individual cells. Here comes the second line. Here comes the third line. They're moving pretty quickly. So as I mentioned, this is not something that'll last all night long, but it will last for a large part of the evening. So this is one. Step 2 is the line starting to move into our plateau counties. Step 3, this will be more toward early to mid-evening. We're going to take a look at these two individual cells here from a velocity point of view. I would imagine with the hail production, pretty decent updraft for that as well. And you can see signs of that there, east of Tellico Plains, not quite as pronounced, but right there. It's from a velocity point of view. And then we'll move over here to this cell, Etowah, to just near the county line. And again, you can see some strong gusts from Etowah to Tellico Plains. Okay, right up in here. That's where the strongest gusts seem to be with that cell. Oh, they just upgraded that. It's amazing to watch. We've been watching that form from just a little bit of an outflow to now it's a warning. So I'm going to take the advisories off and just isolate the warnings. So again, this is no surprise here. just issued. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect, which replaces that advisory that was in effect. Same area, southwestern Ray, northwestern Bradley, southwestern Meigs, west central McMinn, and all of Hamilton County until the top of the hour, 5 o'clock Eastern. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail possible with this storm. The core of that storm, basically, I'll zoom in, it's right over Harrison, not far from our building, actually just east of us. And let's take a look at the, yep, hail, yep, you got it. This is near Silverdale, Hickory Hills area. Look at that. Quarter-size hail. So it is a big hail producer. Good, strong updraft for that, but that's not far from where we are. We're back here from Bonnie Oaks, 58. As you see right in there, Silverdale area, Hickory Hills. It had 1-inch diameter hail. That's why that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. And just updated that radar scan. That's right along Hickory Valley Road over to Washington Heights. So, again, quarter-size hail, very common, a lot of these storms. That's the reason why that warning is in effect. And there it goes, moving north and east pretty rapidly. Let's look at the velocity scan on this one. Again, if you're getting hail, pretty decent size updraft. Yep. You can see right in here. Strongest part of that cell near Harrison, just west of Ottawa, just almost paralleling just east of 58. So it's a pretty well-developed storm. We know it has a good strong updraft, producing that 1-inch diameter hail near Hickory Valley Road. So let's track this cell. We're going to track the northern part of this cell. Again, this was an advisory upgraded to a warning till the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. It's moving northeast at 30. We're just going to take the leading edge of this. No.
Can we, this is from Todd, get that thunderstorm warning that says 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Can we get it to say until?
Yeah, I thought so earlier. Okay. The only thing we can do is once it's day around, we can make the adjustments. I don't know why it's toggled off. I don't know why that toggled off. Somebody must have said it.
Yeah. I mean, it is confusing because I see it, I'm like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's not. So, okay. As soon as we can get that adjusted.
Yeah. There's the overall timeline there for leading edge of that line. Snow Hill around 424, Hopewell 438, Dayton around 509. So again, this could have hail with it. We know it's got a hail core with it. We just saw it on the radar there. And moving northeast at around 30 miles an hour. So it'll be covering a large part of Hamilton through even portions of Ray and portions of Meigs. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning out till 5 o'clock. This one developed real quickly. You watch that developed in real time on this broadcast we've been doing. And following right behind it, the outflow from this is sparking the development of this one, which is near the battlefield over to Chickamauga. So Ringgold, you got more storms coming your way. So with this very warm, moist air, it's not impossible. There's so much fuel out there. These storms are firing out fairly rapidly. Vanjie says, got hail on Dayton Mountain. Paige says, I'm in panic mode and I'm scared. Paige, deep breaths, just relax. Don't ever panic. Don't ever be scared. Just be prepared, okay? That's why I'm here doing a broadcast, showing you where these storms are, okay? The main threats here are some damaging wind gusts, hail, lightning, heavy rain. Tornado threat's really low with this. We're watching. We're going to watch that for you. But never a time to panic. Just relax. If you're in a safe place in your house, you're a good place to be. All right, just stay in a safe place. Let these storms pass on by. That's what we're here for. All right. All right. Here's a whole cluster of warnings here. And this now includes eastern Franklin County near Suwannee. And it's 3 separate warnings over Franklin. And this is really when it does this, it's so confusing. But anyway, this is out to 3:45. That storm near Winchester will be impacting areas near Suwannee, which is now at 3:45 Central. And then Western Franklin County has these 2 warnings. All right. This one is for the storm from Winchester to Flipville. Okay. And then another warning overlaps that, and it's for this storm near Huntsville, which will impact the northwestern part of Jackson County. So that area near Huntland and as far as southern Franklin County, you're under this polygon because of that storm there. So just want to give you the outline there. Also, heads up in Scottsboro, you're not under that warning polygon, but you see how these storms go from Huntsville down to New Hope. All these are moving north and east. So in Scottsboro, be aware that before the top of the hour, 4 o'clock Central, that cluster of storms will be coming in. So bringing rain, lightning, and the chance again for some hail. All right, let's check on that hail near Harrison, shall we? Yeah, still getting that hail and lightning showing up really well there. Not far from Harrison. And again, that's over 1 inch in diameter. Oh, hold on 1 second. It's taking the priority, the warning. So I just wanted to isolate just the hail here. Yep, still 1 inch diameter near Harrison. Again, the computer's got great features, but a lot of times when you want to just isolate it to one feature, it gets kind of tricky. But we appreciate all the features this has because it allows us to tell the story and show you what's happening out there. Let's see. Debbie says storming and hailing in Harrison. Shannon says heavy rain in Cleveland. In Cleveland, you're technically actually just west of Cleveland under this warning polygon here to the top of the hour. And there's a strong part of that cell. It's coming over White Oak Mountain now to just south and west of Cleveland and from areas like Ottawa to Harrison and lifting north and east. And look how fast the one behind it's developing. I mean, this is how fast that one developed. And then you got this one here causing more rain and lightning. Again, there's no warning with that, but over near the battlefield to Fort Oglethorpe to Rossville into East Ridge. On the south side of the Chattanooga, heavy rain, lightning coming in. Thunder roars heading north. Remember that lightning threat. And now we get that line coming in now from the west, moving to the east. Right there. Suwannee, Monteagle, Huntland area. And it goes all the way to portions of Van Buren County. And not to leave out Cumberland County, it's getting pretty noisy there. That's where this whole, you're kind of seeing the convergence now, where you've got the storms coming in from the south, and then a push coming in here. This is that transition we're going to see between the 5 and 7 o'clock hour locally as the line starts moving in from the west, moving to the east. Again, we still have this warning out for Bledsoe and Ray. That's out till 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. I hit the button twice. And again, this cell here near Harrison has prompted this elongated warning area, which also includes southern parts of McMinn and Ray till 5 o'clock Eastern. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail with that, moving northeast at 30. Go to the west a bit. And again, that cell that was over Tellico Plains, the hail core kind of winding down a bit. But the worst part of that cell, it is raining in Tellico Plains, but the worst part of that cell is now near Von Orr and up along the county line. So kind of calming down. Still a lightning threat there in Tellico Plains, but not how it once was. And across North Georgia, Calhoun, the Ranger to Fairmont. Keep an eye on this toward Ellijay. Again, this is not a warned storm, but heavy rain and lightning in the outflow from the previous storms moving off to the north and east. And again, you can see the outflow from all these previous cells just sparking other developments here. This one here, Menlo over to Somerville. That'll be going into southern Walker, southern Dade. So it's bringing more heavy rain, lightning. We'll keep an eye on if it blossoms up or becomes severe. Now, I will tell you, folks, as we approach 4:30, we're going to have to make the transition from this digital stream to our television stream. So I've got to go make some preps for that. So we're going to break away at just after 4:30. But then our coverage will resume quite shortly after that on News Channel 9, which you can also watch on your mobile device, okay? And we'll still keep you covered as we watch more warned storms start moving in. And this shows you the three areas that we're watching. You've got the individual cells over now. This is line number 2 right here. And line number 3 west of Huntsville. So this is going to be predominantly with us between now and say 10, 11 o'clock west to east locally. But I say around midnight it starts to move out and things will be calmer overnight. All right, let's take a look at the hail production with this cell. As we saw, 1 inch diameter hail near Harrison. Still a little bit of that showing up. I'm going to take the polygon off so you can see a little bit better. So still a broad area still where there could be some hail in around Harrison. And even with that cell coming in from the south and west, there might be a little bit of hail with that near Fort Oglethorpe. Not much. And we're not seeing those deep blues on the loops. There were some, but not quite as bad. All right. Well, that's good. You can see also these two lines, what's left of that first line, the second line's catching up with it. And we'll have to see, and we'll watch this throughout the evening, we'll have to see what happens with this line, if this line has any impact on the secondary line. Does it take any of the energy away? We'll have to see. But that's something that D will be watching as it moves to the east. Again, your main risk factors are for the added damage: wind gust, hail, heavy rain, and lightning. Tornado threat is on the low side. It's not exactly 0, but it is on the low side. We are watching that very carefully. And note again, we're going to start seeing this transition from where the cells over us, like over Chattanooga, are moving more south-north. They'll start coming in now and moving more northeast, like this. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of a transition over the next hour, especially between 5 and 7 o'clock locally, as that moves across the plateau and for areas to the east. All right, so in closing here, I want to show you what's going on right now because I got to make the transition to our TV broadcast, which comes up, in less than a half hour now. We've got this cell near Harrison and Snow Hill, which still has a severe thunderstorm warning with it because of wind gusts up to 60, quarter-size hail. That's out to the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Okay? Right behind it, it's pretty noisy. Wouldn't be surprising to get an advisory, but we're seeing that around Chattanooga, around downtown, very heavy rain, lightning, to Fort Oglethorpe, to Chickamauga. It develops in the outflow from that cell. Keep an eye on that. But again, heavy rain, lightning, when thunder roars, head indoors. Remember that. And along with that, we'll watch for any hail threat with that. Same thing across North Georgia. These are all blossoming up. And the next line coming in has already prompted warnings across parts of Franklin and Jackson County, Alabama, with this line coming in. And this will be pushing across our viewing area between 5 and 7 Eastern, bringing with it the same threat levels. Okay. And also this warning across Bledsoe Ray is right over Spring City. And that's also out to the top of the hour, actually 5:15 Eastern time. All right, folks, here's the broad overview of the entire viewing area. We're getting ready to make our preps for our 5 o'clock newscast. So you can watch it still on your mobile device at newschannel9.com. We'll be streaming there, and you can stream on our website. But we're going to break away from this stream for now, making the preps for the broadcast side, and we'll continue our coverage of the storms for you. And even after the broadcast, back on a live stream when needed. All right, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, folks. As I said so often through this, when thunder roars, head indoors. Stay safe from the storms, and we'll keep you updated. Stay safe. Thank you.